Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of PTC User, Dan Glenn.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to the 2007 PTC User World event. Before I really get started, I know there's a couple of first-timers here, and I'd like to put you to work right away. Can I get the people who've been here for the first time, your first World event, to stand up, just briefly? Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, give them a round of applause. I want to especially thank you. You've helped make this the largest gathering of the PTC user community in our history. And that we're not only in numbers, and I'll get into that in a little bit, we're the biggest event we've ever had in a lot of different areas. And I hope that you get enough out of this event that you'll join the rest of the repeat offenders in the room next year in Long Beach when we get back together again. Before I get into the conference, I want to talk a little bit about who we are as PTC User. If you go to our website, you'll see that we're the independent voice of PTC customers worldwide. That's a loaded phrase, and not just because of the global nature of the statement. I'd like to focus on the phrase independent voice. It means that your voice, our voice, is heard loud and clear at the PTC User headquarters. And PTC User recognizes PTC User as the worldwide voice of their customer. And they welcome and support both our independence and our input. And in turn, we value and welcome the support that they give us at this event and at other venues. And we see that as a valuable and growing relationship that's unique in industry. And I know as an engineer at Solar Turbines, unlike other tools that we have, I have unprecedented access to PTC through PTC User. And our input not only is heard by PTC, it becomes solutions that help our company reach its goals. And I wish we had that with other vendors as well. Now, PTC and PTC User communicate in a lot of different ways. Your board of directors meets yearly with the PTC executives. PTC looks at our exploder and monitors that to get the pulse of the customer. How many of you are on that exploder? Part of that email form? Good. A good many of you are familiar with it. That's great. PTC, and I'll talk a little bit more about those exploders in a second. PTC supports our regional user groups, what we call our RUGs. Product updates, demonstrations, they're very visible there. And in the most intimate relationship, they work with our technical committees to help create the specifications that drive the direction of the products and even drive the selection of new products that happen for PTC. We're doing a lot of work to improve that technical committee process. We've been working with PTC for over a year in trying to increase the availability and the participation that you can have in those technical committees, make the structure more dynamic, and we're maturing that as the year continues. I'd like you to keep an eye on our website and watch your email for news on those developments. And speaking of email, I saw a lot of you use the exploder. That's great. We're doing a lot of work to improve that exploder functionality. We're adding a new forum type format to it, better searchability, better reliability, and I'm pleased to tell you that that will be released June 18th. So by the time you recover from the conference and get back home, you're going to be able to use that new portal functionality and get more use out of those exploders than you've experienced today. And of course, the primary interaction between PTC and you comes right here at this conference. And I encourage you to find them and share your thoughts throughout the next 3 days. They can be found in the exhibit hall, in their pavilion, at lunch and on breaks. And I've heard it happen. It's very rare, but sometimes after hours, a few of them are available in the bars at the hotels or in some of those venues, and those are also very good. And our open communication with them is the key to our continued success and growth as an independent organization. And speaking of growth, the last couple of years have seen tremendous growth in PTC, and we've responded with a lot of growth with PTC User. There's an incredible diversity in this room that throughout our history has grown. If you remember the very early days, a few of you might have been here when we just sat down and talked about Pro Engineer. Well, now we have engineers here, administrators, analysts, publishers, a host of new people from a broad spectrum of your companies. And it takes a good bunch of volunteers to keep this going. We are a volunteer-run organization. We're run by you. And there's a lot of these people who keep this organization active year-round, not at just this conference. So I'm going to ask a few of them to stand right now as well. Can I get the board of directors to stand up so you can see who they are? The TC chairs, anyone who's a member of a technical committee, anyone who leads the rugs. Find these people anytime during the conference, and if you could give them a round of applause for all the work that they do. It's really incredible. Thanks for indulging me. I know it's a lot of stuff. I also want to acknowledge our industry partners. They not only help sponsor this event, but they support our rugs. I'm sure you've seen them if you've gone to the regional user group. Our industry partners are very active throughout the community and throughout the world. And not only do they support that area, they offer that additional functionality that fills out the already robust offerings from PTC that are in use at our companies. And to acknowledge PTC as well. Dick Harrison and his team at PTC, and especially the product managers and their management team, who without them, this world event would not be what it is today. And finally, I'd like to thank you. A lot of this event comes directly from your input. You have told us over the years what you have wanted out of this conference, and we've tried hard to provide it. You've wanted more training. There is a lot more training at this conference, more training than we've ever offered before. I think some of them are up there. You wanted, we've also brought back post-conference training, which sold out very quickly. And so we're seeing that you're responding to that as well. So we'll be offering more of that in the future. We've added a lot more networking opportunities. As we've grown, it's a welcome challenge, but we get a lot of input that you want to find folks of your own kind that you can talk to and network with. And we've provided a lot more opportunities at this conference to get you all together. And of course, the backbone of PTC User and the World event, more user presentations. You will find more presentations by users here than at any other event in our history, and a wider variety of presentations. And more importantly, in every category, more presentations than you've ever seen before. So if you're a Pro Engineer user and you remember the early days, there is more content in our Pro-E MCAD track today than you've ever seen at any conference we've ever had. We're getting a lot of user input here, and that's just great. We've also added a management forum this year. I don't know if you're like me. I've sat out there for years, and I hear Dick Harrison give his update, and Jim Heppelman talk about product direction, and Brian Shepard talk, and I'm sitting there saying, boy, I really wish my manager were here to hear this. This is really something that he needs to hear or she needs to hear to bring back to the company and really make things happen. Well, I think we've added a venue here that will attract them and give them a value-added experience that they can keep coming to year after year and help you at your company to get these solutions in place.